This message found you because you were chosen to hear it. Heaven is watching you right now, and your name is echoing in the unseen. An officer asked about your family without saying why, and it unsettled your spirit. You tried to brush it off, but your heart did not forget. You felt a weight in the air. You felt a shift in your chest. You felt that something was not normal. You were right, because what happened in the natural was only a shadow of what was moving in the spirit. You think it was small. You think it was random. But nothing about your life is random. Nothing about your protection is accidental. I saw the moment your heart skipped. I saw the moment your thoughts raced. I saw the moment fear tried to plant its seed. And I stepped in. Before the question reached your ears. Before the danger reached your door. Before the plan could unfold. Angels were already dispatched. Heaven was already moving. You were already being covered. You did not see what was forming behind the scenes. But I did. You did not hear what was being spoken in hidden places. Common God is with me if you trust His plan for your life. But I heard every word. You were never meant to face it alone. You were never meant to stand unguarded. You were never meant to be exposed. You are marked. You are watched. You are sealed. The officer's question was not curiosity. It was a tremor in the atmosphere, a ripple in the unseen, a signal that something had approached your boundary. But it was stopped, not by strength, not by speed, but by divine authority. You have wondered why disaster has brushed past you before. You have wondered why danger has come close, but never touched you. You have wondered why loss keeps missing you by inches. This is why. Because heaven has claimed your bloodline. Because angels stand guard over your name. Because your life carries assignment. And assignment always attracts resistance. You are not imagining the tension you feel. You are not imagining the pressure in your spirit. You are not imagining the heaviness in your chest at night. You are awakening. You are becoming aware. You are beginning to see. The enemy does not attack what is empty. The enemy does not chase what is pointless. The enemy does not study what holds no future. You have been studied. You have been targeted. You have been watched. And yet you still stand. That alone tells you who is with you. You feel broken. You feel confused. You feel like your prayers barely reach your lips anymore. But I hear even your silent cries. Type 333 if you believe angels are guiding you. I hear the prayers you are too tired to speak. I collect the tears you wipe away when no one is looking. You think your faith is weak, but you are still here. And that is faith breathing quietly. The officer asked about your family, but the real question was being asked in the spirit. Is this one still covered? And heaven answered back with thunder. Yes. You were protected before you were ever threatened. You were guarded before you were ever questioned. You were sealed before fear ever found your door. That uneasy feeling you had afterward was not panic. It was discernment. It was your spirit recognizing a spiritual interruption. It was the alarm that sounded for protection, and protection answered instantly. You have walked through seasons you should not have survived. You have carried wounds that should have crushed you. You have endured silence that should have broken your mind. Yet you still breathe. Yet you still hope. Yet you still whisper my name when the night grows heavy. That is not accident. That is covenant. You think you are barely standing, but in the unseen, you are standing in light. You feel unnoticed, but heaven has never stopped watching you. You feel overlooked, but the angels speak your name with clarity. You feel delayed, but you are being timed with precision. The question that was asked about your family was not about information. It was about access, and access was denied. You sleep not knowing what almost unfolded. You wake not knowing what almost happened. You live unaware of the danger that circled your door. And that is mercy, because protection does not need announcement. It only needs authority. You have been under divine surveillance, not to trap you, but to shield you, not to restrict you, but to preserve you. There is a reason your instincts have sharpened. Comment I receive IT if you're ready for your miracle. There is a reason your spirit has been restless. There is a reason you cannot go back to who you used to be. You are being repositioned. You are being redirected. You are being prepared for something big. The warning did not come in words. It came in atmosphere. It came in feeling. It came in a disturbance you could not explain. But heaven does not always speak in language. Sometimes heaven speaks in weight. You felt the weight. You carried it quietly. And you wondered why your peace felt fragile. But I was not allowing fear to stay. I was allowing awareness to rise. You are about to enter a season where you will move differently. Speak differently. Choose differently. Because now your eyes are opening. You will not ignore red flags anymore. You will not dismiss uneasy peace anymore. You will not second-guess divine nudges anymore. This is how protection matures. You think protection looks like walls. But most of the time, it looks like discernment. It looks like a pause. It looks like a delay. It looks like a quiet warning that saves your future. You asked why your life feels interrupted so often. It is because destruction keeps getting interrupted first. You asked why things never happen the way you plan. It is because I see outcomes you cannot see. And I reroute what would have harmed you. The officer's question stirred something ancient in your bloodline. A pattern that once brought danger. A cycle that once brought loss. But cycles end with you. Bloodline curses stop with you. Patterns of destruction break with you. You are the interruption. You are the line drawn in the sand. You are the one heaven has marked as no further. This is why opposition has always been intense. This is why confusion tried to cloud your mind early in life. This is why fear followed you even when things were quiet. But fear does not own you. Fear only tried to delay you. Fear only tried to distract you. Fear only tried to weaken your faith. And it failed. Because even when you doubted me, you never fully released me. You never completely let go. You always returned. And return is the language of the chosen. You are chosen. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. You wonder why the pain has lingered so long. It is because your testimony will be heavy with light. You wonder why healing feels slow. It is because what will rise from you must last. You wonder why the breakthrough feels delayed. It is because timing is guarding you from counterfeit miracles. What is coming for you will not require you to beg. It will not require you to bleed again. It will not require you to lose yourself to receive it. It will arrive in peace. It will arrive with clarity. It will arrive without fear. Because when I open a door, no alarm sounds in your spirit. Peace speaks first. The officer asked about your family, but heaven was asking about your future, and the answer was already written. Preserved. Protected. Prepared. You felt exposed, but you were actually being covered deeper than ever before. Do not assume silence means danger. Sometimes silence means interception. Sometimes silence means heaven is handling what you cannot handle. You have been guarded in rooms you never entered, protected in conversations you never heard, saved from choices you almost made, and you will only understand it later, when you look back and shudder at what almost was. Then you will weep with gratitude at what never happened, because you were watched, because you were covered, because you were loved beyond your awareness. You are not forgotten. You are not ignored. You are not alone in this. You feel tired because battles were fought around you that you never saw. You feel heavy because war passed by your door, but it did not enter. Because I stood in the doorway. Because angels stood at attention. Because your name carries weight in heaven. You feel like you are waiting for a miracle, but the miracle has already begun. You are breathing. You are still here. You are still standing. The warning came not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Because what comes next will require awareness. It will require faith. It will require trust. It will require you to choose peace even when the past tries to return. You are stepping into a guarded season, not a fragile one. You are stepping into clarity. not confusion. You are stepping into protection that moves with you, not behind you. Heaven is walking ahead of you. Angels are flanking you on every side. And I am closer than your next breath. You are not about to fall. You are about to rise. You thought the question was the threat, but the question was only the shadow of the threat. What truly approached your life never made it past the gates of heaven, because permission was never granted. There are permissions in the spirit that matter more than access in the natural. And for what tried to approach you, permission was denied. You felt exposed, but you were never vulnerable. You felt seen, but you were actually being shielded. The officer's voice echoed in your mind, but my voice thundered in the unseen. Hands off. This one is mine. You were never alone in that moment. You were surrounded. You were covered front and back. You were hidden inside grace. You replay the scene sometimes. You wonder what it meant. You wonder what it was about. You wonder what you were spared from. Some answers are not meant to terrify you. They are meant to protect you from fear. That is why I keep certain truths behind my hand. Not to withhold, but to shield your peace. Your heart is tender right now. It has been bruised by waiting. It has been wounded by disappointment. It has been stretched by uncertainty. And still, it beats. Still, it hopes. Still, it listens. That is why I am speaking to you now. Because broken hearts hear heaven more clearly. Confused minds cling more tightly to truth. Waiting souls are the ones most ready for miracles. You did not come this far just to survive. You came this far to be transformed. The questioning that frightened you was actually confirmation. It confirmed that your life is being monitored by more than your own eyes. It confirmed that you are not invisible in the systems of the world. But more importantly, you are not invisible in the kingdom of heaven. Heaven knows your address. Heaven knows your bloodline. Heaven knows your hidden battles. Heaven knows your unspoken prayers. You have whispered, "Why does this keep happening to me?" Because you are close to something that matters. Pressure always increases near purpose. Resistance always rises near breakthrough. Confusion always swirls near clarity. And you, whether you realize it or not, are standing on the edge of change. You feel it in your restlessness. You feel it in your sudden tears. You feel it in the way your old comforts no longer satisfy you. You are being pulled upward, even while part of you is afraid to move. That is how transition feels in the soul. You are leaving one version of yourself behind, the version that only survived, and you are stepping toward the version that will live. The officer asked about your family, but heaven has been asking about your faith, not to test you, but to reward you. You kept believing when nothing made sense. You kept praying when nothing changed. You kept loving when nothing was returned. You kept hoping when everything felt delayed. That kind of faith does not go unnoticed. It shakes the earth. It stirs the angels. It moves my hand. You think your prayers were weak, but your tears were loud in heaven. You think your words were trembling, but your surrender was strong. You did not need perfect faith. You only needed present faith. And you showed up again and again, even when your heart was tired, even when your mind was overwhelmed, even when your soul felt empty. You still turned toward me. That is why the warning came. That is why protection moved first. That is why danger never reached you. Because you belong to me. Not partially. Not temporarily. Completely. There are people connected to you who have no idea what almost happened. There are futures that were redirected without announcement. There are generational lines that were quietly rerouted. And you stand at the center of that shift. Not because you are powerful, but because I am faithful. You are entering a season where your steps will be lighter. Not because life will be easy, but because fear will no longer be heavy. You are entering a season where your decisions will be clearer. Not because there will be no choices, but because your discernment will speak louder than confusion. You are entering a season where your prayers will feel closer to answers. Not because time has sped up, but because alignment has begun. The interruption you felt was divine timing colliding with human routine. It startled you because heaven touched your normal day. It reminded you that the unseen is always near, closer than you think, closer than your next thought, closer than your next breath. You have lived too long thinking you were unguarded. You have walked too long believing you were vulnerable. You have worried too long that you were exposed. Tonight, that lie is breaking. You are not exposed. You are enclosed in grace. You are not surrounded by threat. You are surrounded by light. You are not walking blindly into your future. You are being led with precision. The angels are still speaking your name, not in panic, but in coordination, in assignment, in readiness. They move when you move. They wait when you wait. They stand watch when you sleep. Heaven is not distant from your daily life. Heaven is woven into it, in conversations, in interruptions, in uneasy feelings that protect you, in delays that save you, in questions that redirect you, in silence that covers you. You are not crazy for sensing what others missed. You are not weak for feeling what others ignore. You are sensitive because you are being trained to hear. And what you hear now will guide your future. The warning was not the end of the story. It was the turning of the page. From survival into preparation. From fear into discernment. From waiting without knowing into waiting with purpose. Something is aligning that you cannot see yet. Something is loosening that was once sealed. Something is forming that will soon be revealed. You will not miss it. You will recognize it by peace, not by rush, not by pressure, not by fear. Peace will lead you to it, because I always lead my children with peace. You are being prepared for something big, not loud, not flashy, but eternal. Something that will outlive the season you are in now. Something that will touch lives you will never meet. Something that will ripple through your family for generations. And you wonder why the enemy tried so hard to distract you. Now you know. You wonder why fear followed you so closely. Now you know. You wonder why confusion lingered longer than expected. Now you know. Because what is ahead of you is not small. And darkness always resists what will carry light. But darkness does not win. It only exposes where light is about to shine. You are not waiting for me. I am waiting for the perfect moment to reveal what I have been preparing, and it will be worth the wait. Your future will make sense of your past. Your healing will explain your pain. Your joy will justify your tears, and your testimony will silence the fear that once spoke loud in your life. You will look back at this moment, at this question, at this uneasy feeling, and you will say, that was the turning point. That was the night everything shifted. That was when heaven made it clear I was never alone. Rest now. You are safe. You are seen. You are deeply loved. And what comes next will not destroy you. It will deliver you. Stay here with me, because the breakthrough is closer than you think. And the next word I speak over your life will unlock what has been sealed. You are closer than you realize. Closer than your fear allows you to believe. Closer than your doubt will admit. The moment you have been aching for is quietly approaching. Not rushing, not forcing, but arriving with precision. You have mistaken silence for absence. But silence was only the sound of things falling into place unseen. When I am quiet, I am not distant. When I seem still, I am aligning everything with exactness. You were never meant to understand every step. You were meant to trust the one who orders them. Your heart has been tired of waiting. Your mind has been weary from wondering. Your soul has whispered, how much longer? And I have heard every whisper. Waiting is not your punishment. Waiting is your corridor of preparation. You are being taught how to carry what is coming, because what I am about to release into your life will require a healed heart. It will require steady hands. It will require discernment that does not panic. That is why this season has been slow. That is why the pressure has been deep. That is why the pruning has been precise. You asked me to change your situation, but first I had to strengthen your foundation. You asked me to bless you, but first I had to heal the places that would have leaked the blessing away. You asked me to send the miracle, but first I had to prepare the vessel. And now the vessel is almost ready. The officer's question did more than stir your fear. It shifted your awareness. It woke up your spiritual senses. It reminded you that the invisible world is always active. And now you are beginning to see between the lines. Now you are beginning to feel beneath the surface. Now you are beginning to move with wisdom instead of impulse. This is growth you cannot measure with numbers, but heaven measures it with favor. You have been guarded in your unguarded moments, protected in your distracted moments, covered in your weakest moments. When you thought you were exposed, you were actually enclosed in mercy. You feared you were being watched by danger, but you were being watched by angels. You worried that questions meant trouble, but questions meant interception. You thought attention meant risk, but attention meant protection had already arrived. You have been living under a shield you did not know existed, a shield built from prayers you prayed in desperation, a shield formed from tears you cried in secret, a shield strengthened by faith you thought was too small to matter. But every whisper mattered, every tear mattered, every trembling prayer mattered. Your story is heavier with divine fingerprints than you realize. You think you walked through those seasons alone, but heaven walked them with you. You think you survived by chance, but survival was a decision made in the throne room. You are not forgotten in the systems of this world, but even more, you are not forgotten in the courts of heaven. Your name is spoken with authority there. Your future is discussed with intention there. Your protection is enforced there. There are things you will never be told, not because they are unimportant, but because they would burden your peace. You do not need to know every danger that was canceled. You only need to trust the one who canceled it. You do not need to see every enemy that was restrained. You only need to rest in the truth that it was restrained. When you finally stand in the fullness of what I have prepared for you, you will understand why so many things had to be intercepted, why so many doors had to close, why so many delays had to guard you, why so many questions had to redirect you. You will not be angry about the waiting then. You will be grateful for the protection. Your heart will say, "Thank you for every no that saved me." You will say, "Thank you for every delay that kept me alive." You will say, "Thank you for every warning I did not understand at the time." You are not being dragged through life. You are being escorted into purpose. Even when the road feels uneven, even when the night feels long, even when the answers feel distant, heaven never lost sight of you. You worried that the officer's question meant your life was about to unravel, but it meant something very different. It meant you had crossed a boundary of visibility. It meant your life had reached a level of impact that required higher surveillance. It meant your protection had just been elevated. You are being taken seriously in the spirit realm, not as a victim, but as a vessel, not as someone fragile, but as someone carrying light. And light always attracts attention, both from heaven and from darkness. But darkness does not have the final word. It never has, and it never will. You will not be taken by surprise again in the same way, because now you know how heaven warns. You know how discernment feels. You know how peace leaves before danger arrives. You know how your spirit tightens before your mind understands. This awareness will save you again, and again, and again. You are learning to trust the quiet knowing, not the loud opinions, not the rushing voices, not the pressure of others, but the calm authority of my spirit within you. Your instincts are being purified. Your reactions are being sanctified. Your choices are being aligned. You are becoming steady, even if you still feel shaky. You are becoming strong, even if you still feel weak. Strength is being built in you quietly, without drama, without spectacle, without noise, just like roots grow, hidden, deep, unseen, until one day, the tree stands firm in a storm that would have toppled it before. You will stand like that soon, and you will realize the storm no longer controls you. You are not cursed with fear. You are being trained for peace. You are not marked by anxiety. You are being marked by trust. You are not destined for loss. You are destined for stewardship. Stewardship of blessing. Stewardship of influence. Stewardship of healing. Because you cannot pour what you have not received. And you are about to receive much. Slowly. Safely. In the right order. The confusion you feel right now is temporary. The clarity you will walk in is permanent. The pain you remember is fading. The peace that comes will endure. The fear that once ruled your nights is weakening. The faith that will rule your future is strengthening. You will not always tremble like this. You will not always question like this. You will not always wait like this. This is a passing season, not a permanent identity. You are not the one who is always afraid. You are becoming the one who trusts deeply. You are not the one who is always unsure. You are becoming the one who discerns clearly. You are not the one who barely survives. You are becoming the one who stands unshaken. And one day someone will look at your life and ask, "How did you make it through all that?" And you will quietly answer, "I was warned. I was protected. I was carried." Your future will be built on unseen rescues. Your joy will be built on hidden interventions. Your peace will be built on battles you never had to fight, because they were fought for you. You do not have to look over your shoulder tonight. You do not have to brace for impact tonight. You do not have to prepare for loss tonight. Tonight, you get to rest under coverage, under authority, under love that does not fail. Heaven is still watching. The angels are still speaking your name. And I am still guiding every detail of what comes next. You will not miss your moment. It will find you in peace. It will meet you in alignment. It will arrive when your hands are ready to hold it. You are being prepared for something big, not something that will crush you, but something that will confirm everything I promised you in the dark. Stay near. Keep listening. Do not rush ahead of my timing. The next word I speak over your life will unlock what you have been waiting for. And when it happens, you will know it was me. If this message stirred your heart, if it calmed your fear, if it awakened your spirit, do not drift away. Another word is coming for you. Another revelation. Another layer of healing. Another step toward your breakthrough. Stay with me in the next message, because heaven is not finished speaking to you yet. Something is shifting inside you. You may not be able to name it, but you feel it. A loosening, a softening, a quiet release of tension you have held for too long. That is my spirit touching the places you learned to guard. You learned to guard your heart because life taught you loss. You learned to stay alert because experience taught you pain. You learned to prepare for disappointment because hope once felt dangerous. But I am retraining your soul, not for survival, for peace, not for fear, for faith, not for damage control, for destiny. The question that was asked about your family stirred up old instincts. It reminded your body how to brace. It reminded your mind how to run scenarios. It reminded your heart how to worry ahead of time. But tonight, that reflex is being healed. You do not have to live in constant readiness for bad news. You do not have to live expecting the worst. You do not have to live as if danger is your default. Your default is now protection. Your default is now coverage. Your default is now grace. The season where panic controlled your reactions is ending. The season where peace governs your steps is beginning. You will still be wise. You will still be aware. But you will no longer be afraid, because fear makes you small. And you were never meant to live small. You were meant to live anchored. You were meant to live grounded. You were meant to live steady even when the ground shakes. The officer's question was not meant to define you. It was meant to transition you from unconscious protection into conscious trust. Now you know that heaven intervenes. Now you know that warnings come before impact. Now you know that silence does not mean abandonment. It often means interception. You will interpret interruptions differently now. You will interpret delays differently now. You will interpret uneasy feelings differently now. No longer as panic, but as guidance. No longer as threat, but as care. Your relationship with my voice is changing. It is becoming more personal, more familiar, more steady. You will notice that when something is not for you, peace will quietly withdraw. You will notice that when something is for me, even the challenge will feel calm underneath. This is how I will guide you in the coming season, not always with signs in the sky, but with stillness in your chest, not always with loud answers, but with quiet certainty. The broken places in you are not defects. They are doorways. They are the exact points where my light enters deepest. You thought your weakness disqualified you, but your weakness became the channel for my strength. You thought your pain wasted your years, but your pain prepared your compassion. You thought your waiting stalled your life, but your waiting sharpened your discernment. Nothing in your story has been wasted. Not one lonely night, not one anxious thought, not one unanswered prayer, not one bitter tear. I have used every fragment to shape the readiness of your heart. You will soon begin to sense a new confidence rising. Not pride, not arrogance, but quiet stability. The kind that does not prove itself. The kind that does not announce itself. The kind that simply stands. You will no longer be moved so easily by opinions. You will no longer be shaken so quickly by uncertainty. You will no longer collapse at the first sign of pressure, because you are being rooted, deep, secure, unshaken. The warning that once unsettled, you will become the evidence that steadies you. You will remember it in moments of doubt, and you will say, "If heaven warned me before, heaven will lead me now." That memory will become a pillar in your faith, a marker in your spirit, a reminder of how near I truly am. You have asked if your life really matters. You have wondered if your existence makes any difference at all. Tonight, let the answer settle fully. Heaven intervened for you. That alone tells you your life carries weight. You do not rescue what has no value. You do not guard what has no future. You do not warn what you plan to discard. You were warned because you are valued. You were protected because you are needed. You were intercepted because your story is not finished. There are people who will meet me because they met you first. There are hearts that will heal because you chose to stay soft. There are lives that will shift because you did not harden in your pain. You cannot yet see those faces, but I already know their names, and I am walking you toward them even now. Every step you take in obedience opens a path for someone else behind you. Every choice you make in trust builds a bridge for another to cross later. Your life is not only about your survival, it is about your impact, and your impact is coming. Quietly at first, then clearly, then unmistakably.